Hi there. It is Wednesday at noon during Freedom Fund, which means that it is time for an Instagram Live. And I hope some of you will be joining me in just a moment as well. Oh, hi there, friends. We are being joined by Arien Garcia. Hello, Arien. I guess I should ask, do you go by Arien Pauls Garcia? Arien Garcia? Are you Arien Pauls in your public speaking? I don't know if I know the answer.
It is Paul's Garcia, so
My apologies.
I had to have 5 different names.
Well, I mean, everyone can have 2.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Oh, how are you today?
Good, just enjoying the cool weather and just enjoying my second cup of coffee. It's fine.
Excellent. How many cups do you have behind you is the real question.
I have quite a few. So I have a window view right here in my office, and when people walk by, I've had comments of people thinking it was a Starbucks.
Oh, that's
or people
amazing.
like looking under to see all of them. So quite a few. It's a long rack.
That's nice. They think it's a Starbucks. That's amazing.
Like we magically have a Starbucks.
Yeah. Wow. Well, I am super glad that you're here. For those that might not know, you used to be right here in this office with me. And now where are you? What are you doing?
So I am now with Fresno EOC in their Central Valley Against Human Trafficking project. I've been here a year, so a year away from you. But I am now working as one of their case manager advocates, working primarily with adults who've experienced exploitation, both national and foreign national clients. So get to see a little bit of the labor trafficking as well.
Yeah. So tell us, what does a case manager do?
Oh my gosh. What doesn't a case manager do, really?
Mm-hmm.
There's so many things, from emotional support all the way to helping them go and get their driver's test done, helping apply for benefits, navigate the legal system. So there's so many things. I'd say primary is just being a consistent person for them.
Yeah, why is that important?
Being a consistent person is important because there's been so much inconsistency in a lot of these clients' lives, and in lack of follow through, lack of support. And so being a consistent person for them helps them see that they're not alone, and really helps them, give them that piece that they need to really accomplish what they're trying to accomplish.
Yeah. How long do you typically work with your clients? Do you have an average?
Well, I've been here a year.
Yeah.
So I do have a couple of clients that I've worked with since I've started and are still a client. It's really up to the client when they decide to disengage or no longer want services. But it's kind of like how the coalition is. We walk it out with them until they're out of crisis mode or until they're in a healthy place, and when they're in a healthy place, sometimes they drop by and say, "Hey, how are you doing?"
That's
They might
awesome.
not need services anymore, but it is nice to still have that connection.
Yeah, it's a relationship that you build.
Yeah,
Awesome.
definitely.
So you were here at the Justice Coalition. Well, when did you start? You've been a part of the Justice Coalition for a long, long time. You've served many roles. You are welcome to share about that if you would like, at whatever roles you wanted. And I want to know, remind me, when did you start officially on staff?
So I think I've been just in and out of in different spaces with the coalition for like 11 years now. I believe I was on staff for 2 years. It was in the middle of the pandemic, so
I know. When we were trying to figure, yeah, I remember coming into the office and then being like, oh yeah, no, we're not going to be in the office anymore.
yeah. It
Yeah.
was a weird time. But yeah, in different capacities of sharing my own experiences, volunteering, helping with Freedom Fund, just helping with just helping, always helping. So it's been a long time, almost as long as the coalition's been
Yep,
around. I've been there.
that's right. Yeah. And so if anybody watching this was part of our sticker club, we had a sticker club through
Oh
Patreon for a little
yeah.
while. Arien designed a lot of those stickers as well. Do you have a favorite?
I almost went to show you, but it's on the back of my phone case. It's the hashtag Justice Goals.
Yes.
Was one of my favorite ones. It's on the back of my phone, and I love it.
Yeah. It's like a purple, like almost
Purpley,
tie-dye.
bluish kind of
Yeah.
cloud. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a nice one. Yep. So, yes, lots of different roles. One of which is that you helped develop our youth advocacy program that Tiffany and Luis are still using. So, I really wanted you to share a little today about why that was important and what pieces of it you kind of helped develop.
I found that program to be extremely important because at the time it was really connecting with youth that were kind of falling through the cracks. The youth that didn't quite fit in with other established agencies or was kind of just, I don't know how else to say it, but just kind of floating out there, stuck in the system, not really having an outlet or much support or were very integrated into the system, but there was a key component missing, and that was addressing those risky behaviors, or just addressing lack of just personal support, whereas they're so used to being part of the system that they don't get a chance to have that personal touch of connection and that consistent person. Because in social work, and I hats off to social workers, but oftentimes it's such a high turnaround rate that it's so hard for that trust and just relationship to be established and formed to really help see that youth grow and progress forward.
Yeah, that's great. I think you're right. When I think back to like the beginning of that program, what we were recognizing is that there were kids who were being identified as victims of CSEC, so commercially sexually exploited children, that were getting services. They were identified and they were getting the kinds of help that they needed. And there were kids that we could see all of those behaviors and where they were going to lead. We've done this long enough. We know the patterns, right?
Mm-hmm.
And anyone around them who was educated would also say, oh, these are the things, we can see this headed this direction if nobody steps in. But the systems that we had established were only like triggered to step in when the big thing happened, right?
After that exploitation happened. And so seeing that there were so many just that trends in youth and needing that extra support, that what the coalition had started doing, just taking it and running with it and developing it out and actually just laying out a structure of what does that look like when you get a referral. When do you meet with youth? How often do you meet with, like, really taking something and making it a lot and expanding on it and making it a lot just comprehensive, so that way those kids would stop just kind of, oh well, if we could only, and it was now, okay, yeah, we're here and we can provide that support. And it that shifted that conversation and really that help.
Yeah. What was the role of harm reduction in that?
The role of harm reduction was actually really big in that. The importance of meeting a kiddo or anybody who's at risk of being exploited is so important. Harm reduction is great for those who have already experienced exploitation as well, in building that relationship. But meeting a kiddo where they're at and just saying, like, hey, I know you're going to do what you're going to do. What's the best way that you can do it? What's the safest way you can do it? And getting them thinking of those kinds of conversations, not taking away their voice or their choice or anything else, but just really helping them understand through connection, through spending time together, through games, through workbooks, through different classes, that helping them figure out on their own, like, oh, okay, yeah, I like to do drugs, but there's really no safe way for me to do drugs. So maybe I should stop doing drugs. And you really get to see a transformative process. I had one kiddo, I remember, thought that their life was going to be one specific way, and they were going to be in a gang and have children young, and that was it. And going through the program over there at the coalition with me, and now they're over 18 and are on a different path, and has actually found me over here at EOC and reached out, and they're doing well and aren't pregnant and aren't in a gang. So it's those little things like that that are.
Oh, I lost you there. It's those little things that what?
That are so important.
Yeah. Yeah, that is huge. And that takes so much time. Like how long did you meet with that kiddo who's not a kiddo anymore, before you saw some big changes in her life?
For well over a year. I would say a good 18 months. It's not instant. It is not, that's the beauty of the program that is there now, and developing out that program, is there is no hard end date. There is no hard, you have to, when you set goals with them, oh, you have to have your goals done within 3 months or 2 months. It's that flexibility and learning how to flow with where that kiddo is at and where they're at in their life, and giving them that flexibility is something they've never had before. Being a product of the system and being part of the system, it is always hard deadlines. It is always another number. It is always hurry up and wait. And so with the youth program that I created over there, it got rid of that barrier, and it's just flowing with the youth instead of forcing them. It's a flow.
Yeah, that's good language. It's a flow. That's right. And you said something earlier too that I think is such an important piece of this, which is that you meet them where they are. We don't say, okay, thanks for coming. Here's the 12-week curriculum that we're going to throw you into. Right?
I remember we had, when I was there, I had a kiddo come through the program that had already been receiving help through behavioral health and just different places. And I was talking to them about like goals and incentives and what looked like that. And the kiddo actually challenged me and said, why not make it harder? And said, if it doesn't work, or if I don't make it, let's extend out what that incentive looks like. Let's change that. And I was just like, okay, yeah. So I actually learned a lot from the kiddos that I worked with, because if we sit and listen and give them that space, they have so much to teach us. Mm-hmm. And sometimes with the systems being as busy as they are, and social workers as busy as they are, there isn't a lot of time to sit and give that kiddo a space to give feedback, to really feel supportive in certain things. So I think that's really one of the big things that the program now over there does, is just gives them that space, because they're growing. You might get a 13, 14-year-old, and they're going through their developmental stages as well as working through their traumas and different things with you. And it's just giving them that space that is so important. And that's what the coalition does with your guys' youth program now, is just really walking it out with them and their families is huge.
Yeah. Well, you did a really wonderful job in this program, and we're grateful that we still get to run it. I am curious what you envision, because I think it's, it still has a special place in your heart. What do you envision, 5 years down the road? What would you hope that this program might accomplish in Fresno?
5 years. Whoa, I don't even know what I'm doing for next.
Okay.
No.
How about this time next year?
um, I kid. Overall, seeing a space for the kiddos to have leadership, seeing them really own the program, and because it's for them. You
Yeah.
know, we might be here running it, but I could see the overall goal being peer on peer outreach, and eventually kind of, you know, feeding into and bleeding into your guys' other programs. C is just having it being youth informed and led, with the same practices in place, still walking beside those kiddos and their families, and continue to give them that support. And that support might look like a trip to the zoo one day for a
Yep.
kiddo who's never been. And that is the one thing that just brings them to a point where they're like, okay, my life might be rough, but I have some joy. And just continuing to fill in those cracks, for kiddos who are coming out of the juvenile justice system or within the justice system. I know you have Luis over there. I'm super excited to see more, not excited, but I do hope to see more boys in the program,
Yeah.
and in the sense of them receiving help,
Yeah.
because that was one thing when I was there I didn't see. And, you know, having a male advocate is so huge. Like, that would be part of my 5-year goal. So you're already there as far as that goes. So seeing more kids, kiddos in the queer community being served in different capacities and populations, just really expanding and spreading like roots of a tree is what I really hope for this program, in the next 5 years.
I love that. Thank you. Yeah. And to echo your comment there, yeah, we're excited that no, we're not excited that anyone's exploited or at risk of it ever,
Yeah.
obviously. We are excited that we have resources for those that have been overlooked. And we know that males and non-binary kids are highly overlooked in this conversation.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're glad to be able to have somebody that can connect. So if anybody is watching this and you have thought all along that the ones you're supposed to be looking out for are the teenage girls that are on Instagram, I want to invite you to expand your view a little bit and learn about the vulnerabilities that other kids face, learn about the instances of sexual abuse and how that can sometimes lead into exploitation, and learn that 1 in 6 boys is sexually abused. So we can definitely be doing more work in more diverse populations. Yeah. Well, Arien, thank you. Obviously, you know, this is like heavy stuff, but you are a lighthearted person. You enjoy fun and color and joy and also spooky season.
I love spooky season. I am wearing my Shameless Pug spooky season tee from Messy Mom Bun's Creations,
Love it.
and my little ghost facer earrings. I got a little skeleton chilled on. I love spooky season so much.
Lean forward. I want to see your earrings. I can't see them.
Oh, they're little ghosts face
Oh my
from
gosh, cute.
Scream.
Oh, that's great.
He's not my favorite spooky. Freddy Krueger is my favorite spooky.
Friday's the
So,
favorite. Okay.
yeah, he's the favorite spooky, but I love all things just fall and spooktacular. So,
That's awesome. Do you have big Halloween plans? Do you have costumes? Do you do the whole thing?
I actually really love seeing the neighborhood kids going and just sitting on my porch. You know, as a first time homeowner, that is the best joy for me, is just watching all the cool, creative ideas and seeing all the kids. And I'm just like, anything to give another person kids candy and let them be hyped up and send them on their way. Sign me up.
Another person's kid. That's great. Perfect.
Sign me up.
That's good. All right. Well, I hope that you thoroughly enjoy spooky season. Thank you for joining us today. And if anybody is watching this today on Wednesday, October 4th, we will be out at Street Eats at Carriage House Park tonight, and would love for you to come out and ask us more questions about what you heard here or about what the coalition is doing. And please join us in donating during Freedom Fund, where every dollar is doubled by our friends at True Organic Products. So
All
thank
right,
you,
stay
Arien. You're the
spectacular. Thank
best.
you.
Talk to you soon.
We'll talk to you
Bye-bye.
later. Bye.